the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will begin with proclamations. City of Helena proclamation. Whereas the City of Helena pauses to honor the life and legacy of Joel Peden, a colleague, a friend, and a tireless advocate for people with disabilities across Montana. And whereas Joel's advocacy began after he acquired his own disability and when he became involved with the Summit Independent Living as a peer advocate. It quickly became clear that this work was more than a role for Joel, it was a calling. And whereas he became the Ravalli County Coordinator in Hamilton, where he built strong community relationships, educated both the public and people with disabilities about independent living, and empowered individuals to use their voices to create positive change and improve the service system so many depend on. And whereas Joel later moved to Helena to work for the Montana Independent Living Project, now known as Ability Montana, continuing his commitment to strengthening independence and opportunity for others. And whereas, as the executive director of the Montana Association of Centers for Independent Living, where Joel helped coordinate statewide advocacy efforts, serving as a lobbyist during multiple legislative sessions, and played a key role in advancing important legislation related to disability services, transportation, and housing, work that continues to benefit communities across our state. And whereas Joel never stepped away from advocacy, he continued to testify at legislative hearings and became a familiar and respected presence in the Helena community, always standing up for accessibility, inclusion, and dignity. And whereas those who knew Joel remember him for his friendly, soft-spoken manner, his deep dedication to his belief that the world could and should be made better for everyone. His impact will be felt for years to come, not only through policy and systems, but through the lives he touched and the voices he helped uplift. And whereas the city is grateful for the life, work, and unwavering commitment to others Joel demonstrated every day of his life. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Emily Dean, Mayor of Helena, Montana, do hereby proclaim February 23rd, 2026 as Joel Peden Day throughout the city of Helena to honor Joel for his outstanding dedication to advancing the rights, dignity, and inclusion of individuals with disabilities. And I call upon all residents to join me in celebrating his compassionate leadership, tireless advocacy, and lifelong commitment to building a more accessible and equitable community for all. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Helena, Montana, be affixed this 23rd day of February 2026. I'd like to ask Joel's family to please join us at the podium to accept this proclamation and take a moment to really honor Joel's life and legacy. What a loss to the community, but what a legacy that he stood for. Ma'am, I'll give you this. And then if you'd like to say a few words. Thank you. Would you mind standing just the mic so they can hear you online?
I'm not very good at this. This is the first time I've had to do this. First of all, I want to say thank you to the community. Thank you to all of you. If I had to say one thing to describe my dad, is that he was fearless. And he loved this state, and he loved this community. And the work he did made him so proud, and it made us so proud. And the one thing he could always hang his hat on is that no matter the situation he was in, he never frowned upon it. It was something for him to build for everyone else, so that what he went through, no one else would have to go through. So once again, I just want to say thank you to all of you. You meant a lot to him. This town meant a lot to him. This state meant a lot to him. And thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much for this.
We'll be keeping you in our prayers and in our thoughts.
Thank you.
Any words from the commission? Yes, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Mayor Dean, and thank you very much to the family for coming this evening. When I was the interim city manager here, Joel was one of the first people who came to see me, And I loved the quiet, compassionate voice that was called out because it was quiet, compassionate, and it was firm. And he made it very clear that this community needed to do better for people who had issues with accessibility, but he did it in such a compelling, moving, and compassionate way that I never forgot that meeting. I continue to work as hard as I can to remember what Joel taught me that day, and I hope that we can continue to remember him as we move forward, so thank you.
Great. Well, thank you, and we'll be keeping your family in our thoughts. Thanks. All right, we will move on to the consent agenda. Item A, acceptance of a cooperative forestry assistance grant from the Department of Natural Resources and Conservation. Are there any questions or comments on the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion on consent agenda item A.
Mayor Dean,
Yes, Commissioner Logan.
I would move to accept consent agenda item A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing no public comment and no further discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, we will move on to communications and proposals from commissioners. Any communications or proposals from commissioners? All right, seeing none, we will move on to report of the city attorney, acting city attorney Pettish.
Mayor and Commission, I have nothing to report tonight.
Okay, great. Report of the city manager, Manager Lake.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Commissioners and members of the public. A few items for update here tonight. From our fire department, we are on track for the remodel of Fire Station number 2 with Slate Architecture finishing up final construction documents. Following that, the project will go out to bid. Work on Fire Station 3 is moving forward after crews broke ground in mid-January. Our staff was able to save more than $300,000 on this project through diligent value engineering negotiations, which will help the project stay on budget. We still do not have firefighters to staff Station 3 as the 2024 public safety levy did not pass. So while we are making progress on the facility itself, staffing remains an unresolved challenge. Moving on to our police department, on behalf of the city, we do want to extend our gratitude to the ATF and FBI for their assistance during a recent operation. Their partnership and collaboration were instrumental, and we greatly value our strong relationships with our federal partners. Moving on to engineering standards, the City of Helena is currently revising our engineering and design standards. Last week during our admin meeting, staff provided the commission with an overview of the progress made so far. This topic will be coming forward at an upcoming administration meeting for further discussion. Once adopted, these updated standards will help guide development and infrastructure needs in our community for years to come. We do encourage residents to review the proposed standards and share feedback by visiting beheardhelena.com. Public input is a very important part of this process. And lastly, I would like to introduce a special guest with us today, Kristen Page Nye, who is the Government Relations Director for AARP Montana. She will be making a presentation to the Commission related to the great work completed by our community development team led by Director Chris Brink. Kristen, please.
Ms. Page Nye.
Members of the Commission. Kristen Page Nye, I'm the Government Relations Director for AARP Montana. And in December, we look at different awards that we give out, not just in Helena, but across the state. And we don't always give these awards every year either. But with the collaboration that we were so impressed with the process that the city took in developing their land use plan this last year, that we really feel that you all deserve this award. It's the the City of Helena hereby is presented with the Outstanding Community Partnership Award. And, you know, for the new commissioners, the City of Helena has had a long-standing commitment to making our city even greater, especially for our families as we age. And what we do for older Helenans helps our entire community. And not only being designated as an age-friendly community, you also really, through your top-notch staff, your planners and community development and the commission, you really did take a lot of community input for the land use plan development. And we were very impressed of not only taking that input, but making it a reality. You know, the land use plan is a visionary plan, and we had several recommendations that we provided, and every single one of those were included in the visionary plan. We look forward to working with you as you actually implement the land use plan. So thank you.
Thank you.
Who should I give the award to?
Can you provide it to the mayor? And could we get a quick photo with you as well?
Just briefly, I wanted to thank AARP Montana. They have been a really excellent partner to the city over the last number of years and provided really excellent resources as we implemented our age-friendly community guidelines that AARP provides. So thank you, Ms. Paige Nye and City Manager, for giving that update. Any questions from the commission? Anything else in your report?
I do not have anything further, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, great. We'll move along to communications from the Helena Citizens Council. I don't believe, do we have a HCC rep here?
Mayor Dean, I do not see a representative from the HCC either in the room or online.
Okay, we will go ahead and move on then. We will move on to regular item. Our first one is item A. That is our considering a resolution of intention to vacate 6th Avenue right-of-way between Roberts and Sanders Street. Director Konopke.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is a resolution of intention to vacate the right-of-way, as you stated. It's kind of a housekeeping. It was originally brought forth to the Commission in June of 2020 in Resolution 2606. And then there was a one-year extension granted in June of 21, and to allow the remaining conditions to be met. However, the abandonment of the stormwater and some final reinspection and the rest of the requirements were not, the right-of-way condition lapsed, partly because of probably the length of the construction. And so this is bringing it back just to remind the commission that the transfer fee of $165,000 and change was paid for the vacation back originally. There are requirements in our city code of 717, the recording the amended plat, transfer, and things of that nature. There is one condition still outstanding, it's in reference to the 48-inch storm main. I know that there's some ongoing discussion on that. Public Works Director Leland is online or in the chambers to answer those questions. There's only an advantage to this. So we have one typo in the staff report, and that's in the recommendation, which I will correct in my move to conditionally approve the resolution of intention to vacate 6th Avenue right-of-way between Roberts Street and Sanders. If approved, the public hearing will be set for the 9th of March, 2026. And I believe there are representatives from the state in the audience to answer questions. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Okay, great. Thank you, Director Konopke. Questions or comments from the commission? Yes, Commissioner Gustafson. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Director Konopki, and maybe this is a question for Director Leland. I am a little concerned about the storm drain. Can you expand on that, on how that condition will be fixed or met, or when? Tell me more about the storm drain, please.
Mayor and Commissioners, I will defer to Director Leland.
Director Leland is right on cue.
Thank you, Mayor Commission. We have our 48-inch storm drain that goes underneath the old museum and then goes in between the Fish, Wildlife, and Parks building and the new museum, the new Heritage Center that is up there. The original plan was to get all of the existing service lines going into that storm drain in that area underneath the museum and with the new one, and then the city had a plan and had budgeted to relocate that main. Through negotiations, that did not get accomplished through several things that had happened that we won't get into, but now is that we are going to come back and propose that project again because we did not carry it over, so we would budget the project again and then work with the state to find a new path to be able to go through and be able to get that 48-inch storm drain to be able to be put in. So what we're looking for is to actually have the right-of-way, and we are in negotiations and talking with them, but we want to make sure that that gets relocated because the section that is underneath the museum itself is actually in good shape, and that is in concrete, but in between the buildings, once it comes out into the old 6th Avenue, it is corrugated metal and it is falling apart. It does not have a bottom on it right now, so we want to try and be proactive and get something done before there's anything catastrophic as far as that falling in. So we are still working with them, but it is just to get that so we can get it relocated and taken care of. But it is our proposal to try and rebudget that project this year.
Thank you. I have a follow-up.
Go ahead.
So that would go, if I'm understanding you correctly, it's underneath the turnaround on the east side of the museum is where there would be, needs to be fixed, where there's no bottom on a storm drain. So here's a question. What happens if that's a condition of this vacation, do they have another, I'm confused on the timing and who's responsible if something happens between now and it getting resolved.
Mayor Commission, there's a little miscommunication in there, is that as long as they work together, I guess we could have phrased the condition better, as long as we work together to be able to find a path to be able to relocate that main, then that's what we'd be looking for. So then it would fall on us to be able to go and relocate that main, but we want to make sure we have a path to be able to relocate that storm drain because there isn't a way to fix it right now. We can't line it after it's collapsed a little bit more during the construction of the project. So our only one is to relocate it, and what we would do is intercept it on 5th Street, relocate it down Roberts and around, because it does also go underneath a couple other buildings, so we'll see how far we can go to try and get this alleviated so that we are in the right of way where it should be.
All right, any other discussion from the commission? Is there any public comment? Yep. Please come up, sir.
Thank you, Mayor Dean, Commissioners. Russ Catherman, Architecture and Engineering Division. Appreciate the opportunity to be before you tonight with this resolution. The only concern that I have from the state standpoint is making sure that the way the resolution reads and some of the documentation, that it's not a state project, that the state's not funding it, that the 48-inch line is wholly owned by the city, and the cost of relocating that line would be as well by the city. I would prepared to initially come up and just invite everybody over to the Heritage Center if you've not seen it yet. Hope everyone likes it and gets a chance to go over there. So I'm confident that through the Department of Administration, my colleagues in the General Services Division, they can work out a route for the storm line, that 48-inch line, to be relocated. We agree that we think it needs to be done, but it's not a state responsibility or at state cost to do that. The other thing I would like to point out to the commission is that the construction of the Heritage Center and the project itself did not require this. So with the actual design of the building was designed to avoid the 48-inch line with the new addition. So it's been a recognized concern for quite a while, this 48-inch line, and we'd just hope that the city's able to find the funds and pursue the project sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any additional public comment? Okay. Any additional questions or comments from the commission?
Mayor Dean.
Commissioner Rigby.
So, should we say that this is our project? I guess, is that a question for city attorney? I would like to hear from Director
I'm
Leland.
defer to Director Leland.
Mayor, Commission, it was originally our project to be able to go forward, and it is our main. So that I would say is if you would like to change that condition, we could either do it in this or have it done in the final resolution. We could still pass the resolution of intention and just modify a few of those, because you can always change the conditions. That it would be that they provide a path for us to be able to relocate that main at a minimum. That would be ours.
Thank you, Director Leland. I wonder, looking to the city manager and city attorney, if between now and the 9th, having the city attorney's office work with Public Works to ensure that we have the conditions exactly as we need.
Yes, Mayor, I believe we can do that.
Okay, great. All right, any additional comments or questions? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean.
Commissioner Reed.
I move to conditionally approve a resolution of intention to vacate 6th Avenue right-of-way between Robert Street and Sanders Street and set a public hearing for the 9th of March.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed.
Here, aye.
Commissioner Rigby.
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson.
Aye.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
The motion carries 5-0.
All right, we will move on to item B. Consider a resolution of intention to vacate the portion of Jackson Street right-of-way in from of 648 Jackson Street. Director Konopke.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is another vacation that was approved in the past. In 2017, it was recorded in Resolution 20337. However, the amended plat and quitclaim deeds were never filed as the commission, so the resolution vacating the right-of-way has lapsed. In this, the applicant, believing that the subject property was completed and the right-of-way conveyed, applied and received TIF funding to construct the private parking lot as proposed. And during that plan review, it was discovered that the previous vacation conditions were not met, so the new request was submitted to the city. So again, this is just coming back to you to, as a resolution of intention to vacate that property adjacent to 648 Jackson. The applicant intends to basically take that right away, build a small parking lot, install sidewalks and curb and gutter there to clean up that intersection. We have a few of those throughout along Helena Avenue, that giant intersection with multiple legs entering, so this is a good project to proceed with. And so our recommendation is to move to conditionally approve the resolution of intention to vacate the triangular portion of Jackson right-of-way between Helena Avenue and 13th. If approved, the public hearing is set for 9th of March, 2023. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Director Konopki. Questions or comments from the commission? Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor Dean. Director Konopki, the site plan or site layout that's in the packet, is that just a proposed layout or is that the final layout?
That's the proposed and the layout that's under review, and I believe that was the one submitted to the TIF.
Okay. Follow up, and thank you. I'm excited about this project to see Helena Ave get some pavement reduced, and I'm wondering if this proposed layout has the correct number of trees and green spaces for a parking lot. I also appreciated the next page that you included in the packet from the multimodal survey that showed some visuals about these corners that could be reduced and showed more green space. So I'm wondering if that meets the green space requirements.
Mayor and Commissioners, through the design review, those comments will be addressed if it does or if it doesn't. And then also with the 5-point intersection study, there was potentially bulb outs in that area, and that the transportation will work with the applicant to look at seeing how we can maybe perpetuate that plan, and we'll just work with them through the process. I won't guarantee anything, but we'll try to implement that plan to the extent feasible.
Okay. Any additional questions? Yes, Commissioner Rigby.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. Just out of curiosity, Director Konopki, how long are the resolution good for if it lapsed? Just
A year, Mayor and Commissioners, a year.
okay. One more question.
Yep, go for it.
Director Konopki, so no utilities will need to be moved? All of it's in the right of way? We're good?
Mayor and Commissioners, I believe there will be one easement through the piece as there's utilities running along Jackson there. But other than that, the appropriate easements or anything that will impact current infrastructure will be addressed through that design process.
One more.
Go for it.
Thank you, Mayor Dean. And those costs on the city or the change through the resident, or is it all?
Mayor and Commissioners, if it's just an easement, it'll just be noted on the amended plat. Removing things in the right of way, I don't believe there's much out there because now it's just kind of a sea of asphalt. So it'll be a beneficial project for the neighborhood to reduce those crossing distances. And again, like I said, if an easement is required, those will be noted on the amended plat.
Okay, great. Any additional discussion? All right, seeing none, is there any public comment? Any public comment on this item? Coming up behind you, Director Konopki.
Good evening, Commissioners and Mayor. I apologize, this is very outside my comfort zone, so I'm going to try to keep it nice and brief.
Nope, you're right.
My name is Kelsey Pocha, and I'm here representing PJP Properties. I also own a business that occupies, and I work as an esthetician within the building that this parking lot would be in front of. So, as mentioned, when we applied for this originally, we thought that this had already been vacated and that we could roll ahead with the plans. So we were so excited. The last time we were here requesting TIF funds. We received them and we were so grateful. So thank you very much for that. So what we're asking today is if you could consider moving ahead and helping us to make this improvement on an area that is right in front of a beautiful historic building in Helena. Just being in this building we've been doing construction. We started in March of 2024, and then the business that I'm currently running there, Skin and Tonic Beauty Suites, has been up and running for just over a year now. That intersection is kind of wild. I have seen so many people use it more as a U-turn. I don't see anyone really pertaining to any sort of right-of-way. And just as somebody that uses it so often, more times than not, I just stop and wait for somebody to go. We've seen multiple accidents in this area as well already. I don't have records of how many, but I know I've seen 2 myself. So I just appreciate your time. Thanks for the opportunity to come speak, and we really want to work with you to do something that could look great in the downtown area and just make it a little bit more safe and beautiful for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Any additional public comment? All right, seeing no further public comment, is there any final discussion? Seeing no discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Commissioner Rigby.
I will move to conditionally approve a resolution of intention to vacate the triangular portion of Jackson Street right-of-way between Helena Avenue and 13th Street. If approved, public hearing to be set for 9 March 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final comments? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Rigby,
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson,
Aye.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Mayor Dean.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, we'll move on to item C. Consider a resolution of intention to vacate the alley behind 901 Lindale Avenue. Your popular guy tonight, Director Konopke.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This is another piece of property that was heard by you back in 2013 in Resolution 2000-007. However, the transfer fee was never paid, and the resolution vacating the right-of-way lapsed. Going back, the applicant here is requesting the alley to be vacated. The conditions is for this is a 10-foot utility easement centered over the overhead existing power lines. Provide proof of payment, property transfer fees, and then during the design, there's 2 potential approaches that may need to, by city code, be brought back to full height curb if they're not being used as approaches. And then obviously approved amended plat. This is a project that we recommend, and the staff's recommendation is to move to conditionally approve the resolution of intention to vacate the full width of alley right-of-way between Lindale and Rodney Street within Block 26 of Lockheed addition to the City of Helena. If approved, a public hearing will be set for the 9th of March 2026. So all 3 of these will be coming back on the 9th as a public hearing. Be happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Any comments or questions from the commission? Yes, Commissioner Gustafson.
Got another one. Thank you, Mayor Dean. Thank you, Director Konopke. Question, I think the word approach means like a curb cutout. So the east side of the alleyway as it is there a curb cutout currently on Lindale? And I'm seeing that I don't know the property number, the paint store essentially, then would they get a tiny little triangle of this vacation as well? Or would there be a triangle that stays alleyway, and then could they do a bigger curb cutout onto Lindale? Sorry, that was 3 questions in one.
So, Mayor and Commission, yes, there's an approach out onto Lindale that, if unused per city code, would have to be brought back up to full height curb. It's just to prevent people from errantly, using it as an approach. Yes, all the adjacent property owners per the city code pay a proportionate fee of the transfer of the right-of-way through this process, and those were outlined in the background information. And yet, so the paint store has that little tiny triangle at the end, and they would, receive their proportionate share.
Follow up, if I may, thank you. So could they, there it is, 935 East Lindale. Is that their triangle, the paint store, that piece, is that a wide enough piece that they could have their own approach still onto Lindale if this vacation happens?
Mayor and Commissioners, if that approach, if there's not an approach there currently, they would have to apply for that through the state, because Lindale and that location is an MDT jurisdiction, and we don't approve approaches along those routes.
Okay, any additional questions? Is there any public comment? I believe the applicant is online, so if the applicant would like to provide public comment, if you could raise your hand and we will get you off mute. Go ahead, Mr. Opitz.
Can you hear me?
We can, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I'm 3 time zones away, so it's nice to be able to do this. Yeah, we have all of the neighboring people on the property want to get rid of the alley, and it's good for the city because it really doesn't do anything except cause some congestion for the few that know it's there. And in terms of the one question you have, yeah, we would raise the curb, as was mentioned, so that the ingress, egress into Lindale wouldn't be available anymore. So the answer to that question, the paint store would not have that access. And if they did, they would have to go through, as was mentioned, the Montana Department of Transportation to get that back. Right now, being able to do that, we're going to have a very efficient traffic flow for a drive-in soda shop that we want to put there, so that the traffic comes in and out of Rodney and we don't back things up on Lindale like you might see down at the Starbucks down the road.
Thank you, sir. All right, any other public comment? Okay, seeing no further public comment, is there any additional commission comments? Any questions? All right, seeing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mayor Dean,
Commissioner Logan.
I move to conditionally approve a resolution of intention to vacate the full width of alley right-of-way between Lindale Avenue and Rodney Street within Block 26 of the Lockheed addition to the City of Helena, and set a public hearing to be set for March 9, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Aye. Commissioner Rigby?
Aye.
Commissioner Gustafson?
Aye.
Commissioner Logan?
Aye.
Mayor Dean?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0.
All right. Is there any general public comment on any item not included in this agenda? Any public comment? All right. Any final commission discussion? All right. Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.